Ed Gein's name is forever linked to some of the most horrifying and macabre crimes in American history. Born Edward Theodore Gein on August 27, 1906 in Plainfield, Wisconsin, he grew up in a dysfunctional household under the oppressive rule of his fanatically religious mother, Augusta. Ed's father was an alcoholic, his older brother was distant, and Augusta dominated the family with her strict, puritanical teachings. She instilled in her sons an intense fear of women, often preaching about the evils of lust and condemning sexuality as sinful. This sheltered and psychologically abusive environment laid the foundation for the horrifying events that would unfold later in Ed's life. When Ed's father died in 1940, and later his brother in a suspicious fire, Ed was left alone with his mother. Her death in 1945 devastated him, leaving him isolated on their family farm. Without her, Ed became unmoored, retreating into his own world of loneliness and delusion. He developed an unhealthy fixation on the female body, reading anatomy books and obsessing over stories about Nazi experiments and cannibalism. It was during this period of isolation that Ed began to descend into his nightmarish obsession with death and dismemberment. Ed's crimes came to light in 1957 when local hardware store owner Bernice Worden went missing. Investigators found her body in Ed's barn, decapitated and hanging like a butchered animal. A search of his farmhouse revealed a grisly collection: bowls made from skulls, lampshades and clothing sewn from human skin, and masks crafted from the faces of corpses. It was discovered that Gein had been robbing graves, exhuming recently buried bodies to collect skin and bones for his gruesome projects. However, he also admitted to murdering two women, Mary Hogan in 1954 and Bernice Worden in 1957. Ed's motives were deeply tied to his twisted psyche. He claimed he wanted to create a woman suit so he could become his mother, whom he idolized even after her death. This psychological fixation on her shaped much of his behavior and crimes. His shocking acts of grave robbing, body mutilation and murder made headlines, capturing the nation's morbid fascination. Gein's story went on to inspire some of the most iconic characters in horror cinema, including Norman Bates in Psycho, Leatherface in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Buffalo Bill in The Silence of the Lambs. Declared mentally unfit for trial, Gein was committed to a mental institution where he spent the remainder of his life. He was eventually tried in 1968, found guilty of Bernice Worden's murder, but legally insane. He remained in psychiatric care until his death in 1984. Ed Gein's case is a chilling reminder of how a disturbed mind, shaped by abuse, isolation, and obsession, can lead to unspeakable horrors. His crimes blurred the line between reality and nightmares, embedding him as a symbol of terror in true crime and pop culture. Decoding Ed Gein is not just about understanding his heinous acts, but also the societal and psychological factors that created a man capable of such atrocities.